right in the middle of the Bible. Literally, right down the Bible. You open the Bible in the middle and you find a treasure chest. The treasure chest is called the Book of Psalms. There's 150 Psalms, and they were like hymns or songs written over many, many years in the Old Testament period of Israel's life. And the great thing about the Psalms is they've taken the whole of human life. So sometimes a psalm's all about, we're praising God, we're feeling fantastic, we're going up to the temple. It's top of the mountain experience. And then the next psalm can be, woe is me, life is difficult, my enemies are getting at me. We're right down at the bottom. And life's like that. Sometimes we're at the top, sometimes we're at the bottom. Anyway, many years ago, in the treasure chest called the Book of Psalms, I discovered for myself, nobody told me about it, a particular jewel. And the jewel in the treasure chest, well, there are various of them, but this is one of mine. It is Psalm 6. Because Psalm 6, it's a good psalm for someone like me, because my glass is often half empty. In fact, it's usually 3/4 empty. I am just a melancholic person struggling with life. So Psalm 6 works great. Let me just read a little bit. We read, be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am languishing. Isn't that a big word, languishing? O Lord, heal me. My bones are shaking with terror. My soul also. So this man who's languishing is worried about his bones and his soul. Well, I've reached a time in life where my bones are aching every day. And as soon as I sort one ache out, another one pops up. And my soul, my inner me, that goes through difficult times. In fact, the man that wrote Psalm 6, his times are so difficult, his bones and his soul are so difficult, that he says, I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm on my bed and I wake up in the middle of the night and my eyes flow with tears. Well, I know exactly what it means. Everybody would love to have a great peaceful, but I'm a waker-upper in the middle of the night. Most nights I wake up. And often, like the psalm man in Psalm 6, I suppose I look back and there's some regrets, and I sometimes look to the future and think, how am I going to cope with that one, Lord? And yes, it can be a difficult time. So Psalm 6 is great for me, especially for that in the middle of the night. Perhaps I could read it exactly. I am weary with my moaning. Every night I flood my bed with tears. So perhaps you're thinking, well, this is a bit of a miserable old jewel from the treasure chest. Psalm 6 is all about aching bones, struggling soul, tears in the middle of the night. But that's not where the psalm finishes. But it does plumb those depths. It identifies with many of us and speaks to us, but it's not where it finishes. It finishes by saying, actually, the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. That's a lovely phrase. The Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. I'd hate to be weeping in a complete emptiness where there was nothing. But to be struggling and aching a bit and wobbling a bit and asking questions and struggling a bit and weeping a bit, but to know the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. I am not alone in the middle of the night, in that dark moment where there's nobody else there. I am not alone. The Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. In other places, Psalm 6 talks about the gracious love of God. And he talks about the steadfast steadfast love of God. So, my friends, read this jewel out of the treasure chest and remember, the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. God bless us all.